so-and-so's daughter or son is a nurse or a medical doctor in the US, they'll come and say, this person is sick. That's actually telehealth. India is actually ahead because they are able to work with other countries. They are actually doing robotic telesurgery from the US. A surgeon is sitting here, but doing a surgery, carrying out a big surgery in India. You kind of like, you're giving the advice in quotes, but you're not, you really,
you don't have the authority.
You don't have that authority to say, to go ahead and say.
The 2026 annual conference of the Kenyan Nurses Association of America, KNAA, is happening in Baltimore from September 17th through the 19th at the Sheraton Baltimore North Hotel in Towson, Maryland. Early registration is now open at $250 until July 1st. After that, it goes up to $300. Vendor and sponsorship opportunities are also available, but space is limited. Registration details are on your screen, and the links are pinned in the comments and description below. For inquiries, call 848-224-1201 or email info@kenyannursesUSA.org. That's info@kenyannursesUSA.org. But we want to now talk about telehealth in a practical way, because telehealth, to some people, sometimes it's a buzzword. Like, what exactly is telehealth? When families in Kenya call relatives abroad, they're often not just asking for money. They're sometimes asking for help in understanding a diagnosis. Sometimes it could be a medical bill, a referral, or even understanding a care plan. Now, what can diaspora nurses realistically do to support families from far away? Or maybe how could KNAA help turn that informal WhatsApp support into something that's more structured, useful, and meaningful? Daktari.
Thank you. We actually, if you look at, if you talk to most of our nurses, you'll find out that most of them have been treating patients at home. We're not saying it out loud, but we do it.
Okay.
You have an aunt or a neighbor who knows that so-and-so's daughter or son is a nurse or a medical doctor in the US. They'll come and say, this person is sick. That's actually telehealth. You're there with them on the phone, and sometimes you're like, okay, I want you to be on the video so that we can talk, so I can see you. I see how you're presenting. From there, once they give you the symptoms, you can tell them, okay, can you go do these and these labs? Ask them to order these labs for you. Can they do an X-ray? Can they do an MRI? And once those results are out, they send them back. Yeah. You send them back, and you're able to look at them, and you're like, okay, so this is what's going on, and this is what. Now you can actually now collaborate with the provider in Kenya and tell them, I see what is going on.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't want to listen, but those who listen.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. These are what the labs are saying.
Yeah.
This is what the the X-ray report or the MRI report is saying, and I think, can we rule out this, and this? Just, can we prescribe this for these patients? And that helps. We are doing it not because, it's kind of like you're doing it informally. But if we are given that chance, that now we can openly say that, I am going to help patients in Kenya. And that's why we go back to licensing.
Okay.
Yeah, because you kind of like, you're giving the advice in quotes, but you're not, you really,
you
don't have the authority.
You don't have that authority to say, to go ahead and say. It's just kind of like.
Is there practical examples of other countries that actually, I know you mentioned.
Yeah,
earlier.
India is one of those countries
Yeah,
which are really working well with, doing telehealth well.
Okay.
We already have telehealth in the US.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
But India is actually ahead because they are able to work with other countries. They are actually doing robotic telesurgery from the US. A surgeon is sitting here, but doing a surgery, carrying out a big surgery in India. That can be done.
That is amazing.
And these are majority of these doctors are volunteers. These are volunteers who are volunteering their services to people who cannot be able to afford those services in their countries. So if we are able to make it work, where we make licensing easier, we can be able to help our people in Kenya, because people are dying from things they shouldn't be dying
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
The only problem with Kenya is that once we want these systems, like some MPs are going to ask
Of
for money to
course.
go benchmark and to
sijui
go
what.
and then they're going to start
hiyo
traveling.
itafanyika, you know what,
Yeah.
kama ni pesa wanataka ya kubenchmark, but we
Yeah.
can fungua that server for these people in the village.
Yes.
Kwanza, like me, I can tell you, like
I think
my shags.
that's a big deal. That's
I'm
a
telling
very
you,
big deal. Like
UTI
yeah.
ni kitu inaua mtu.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
UTI, how can UTI uua mtu?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
support,
actually, we were called about a patient who is elderly, who was, very, very confused. The first thing we are like, oh, she's very, very confused. We don't know what is going on. We are like, most likely she has a UTI.
Wow.
They don't have money to buy the medications, take them.
Antibiotics.
Yeah.
Let alone to go for treatment.
So you just tell them, give them these basic antibiotics. Let them try.
For 3 days. See what happens by
These
day
are
3.
yeah. Take these and maybe a 10-day course, 14-day course, because that's what you can do. Try and see if this amoxicillin is going to help this person. And God is good. It works because they can't do the lab. A simple UA, urinalysis, just a dipstick to check to see what kind of bacteria is in the urine.
Yeah.
So they can afford that. So
This is so profound.
and to support what she's talking about, we're talking about how they have been unofficially diagnosing. I gave an example of my granddaughter now and niece. Like, she was involved in an accident, and fortunately enough, in our family, we have a DNP, and we've also got nurses, that masters of nursing people, and they would talk to a nurse, my cousin who is a nurse in Kenya. She would tell them, okay, she's very, very knowledgeable in the information. So we are like, okay, go, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, well, this is what we're doing. So initially, she had to get an MRI. She's in a HOSIP somewhere in Muranga.
Yeah.
She had to be taken to a different place to be performed an MRI. And arudishwa
So Maranga.
to wherever the application, and then you get that information.
And Muranga is a fairly developed county. Yeah,
it's huge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
That's
and
at
arudishwa,
least third home.
this person,
Yeah.
now the doctor over there gets this, so we are sent. Then we are, now a copy of the report is sent. Then my cousins here who are their specialities, wanasema this,
They are
this,
reviewing.
this. Okay, T1, sijui S1, sijui my spine, my T thing, my T bone, my C.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, me, I'm just listening because me have no idea what these guys are talking about.
You're just floating.
They're
I
just-
am
those are
floating like
bones
an
in
ancestor.
the back.
Yeah.
To a spine.
Hizo.
So they're like, oh, does she have a collar? Is she intubated? Does she have this? Does she have this? I'm like, and these are people here. Now, if they were able, like doctor is saying, like if they can be able to whatever, they can facilitate.
And now
So,
I'm seeing.
and by the way, there's a certain I don't know about here, but certain facilities in Kenya, if you want an MRI, you go to a different place. If you want sijui a bone scan, sijui another scan, unaenda mali pengine. Some places, like there's a place we took her, they could not do an MRI. The suggestion was she be taken to KNH. Now where they have the facility, they have the equipment and whatnot and whatnot. Some people had to call big guns. But nurses here do a lot. The way they work for you can say they work for free, but they do a lot of career. It would be nice if they had licenses such that watu wakipata report or they've done this, wanatumia like, okay, we need to, okay, she needs to get a neck collar to support her neck because you can't move her because spine, because some of the bones or some of the T, whatever they're called, if they are moved badly, paralysis permanent or whatever. Like now these are I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm like, yeah.
And have we ever spoken or thought about our medication in Kenya? Fake medication.
Wewe sasa wewe kwa nini unachoma this one here na kuchoma?
What about the medication in Kenya?
Ali,
what is the Kenya Bureau of Standards doing about medications? Are they like really
Do you mean medication that's being supplied in
The
hospitals?
medications
Yes,
are
the
being
ones that
supplied, even
patients
in
are
the
being
pharmacies
given.
are
Pharmacy.
buying
Yeah.
the medications.
Yes.
We have a lot of fake medications going on. You know, you have a patient who is supposed to be on a blood thinner. They think that they're taking a blood thinner to help, you know, prevent them from forming a clot, but they're taking something which is not helping them.
Oh, it's
They're
a
on a
placebo.
blood thinner,
Yeah.
but they end up, you know, forming a clot. So the medications, I think we should do, the government should do better.
Because remember,
You
Remember, remember when I said that we have, how do I say it? We have, like it's a Kenyan thing, and I don't, I'm losing my words. We have issues that are, niza kujitakia. We like, counterfeiting is a very big
It's a big business.
industry in Kenya.
Yeah.
Very big business.
Yeah.
And everything is counterfeited in that country. Anything that's sold in that country originally has a counterfeit of it. And unfortunately, the lack of enough medication in the country, the lack of enough controls, the lack of morality and ethics has led to a point whereby things like medication, which are a life and death thing, are not considered taboo. It's fair game. Because if I know that a dose of antibiotics is going for 3,000 and I can make a fake for 200, that's a 2,800 profit. By the time I bribe everybody out of that dose, out of that single dose,
This is sad.
I bribe everybody,
It
right?
is.
I get, maybe I remain with 1,500, 1,000, and I become a millionaire in that point, right? Because how many million doses of antibiotics are you gonna produce that
can-
effect? And these are medication that people buy. Remember,
Wanna buy
you
kwa
know the most,
chemist?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kwani,
it's all in the
because-
chemist.
because the thing
And
is-
can you imagine,
and-
even
and
if the
you know-
doctor
you know-
does whatever they are doing, giving
Yes.
the right diagnosis, but you're not getting the right medications,
So how do you know?
Do you-
How do you
you
know,
know-
this is the good chemist and this is the
let me-
bad
let me
chemist?
ask you
Well,
one
you
thing.
don't know.
Let me ask you guys one thing.
Yes.
Do you know during conflict, the most expensive thing, especially that you can barter for anything,
Is medicine.
it's medicine, especially
Painkillers.
painkillers, pain relievers, and
And
antibiotics.
antibiotics.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
So all this medicine that you see is supposed to be in the country. How many battlefields surround Kenya?
wow, Sudan, Somalia, even Ethiopia to a certain extent,
Okay.
DRC.
Now you see where the medicine goes.
Wow, okay. Now,
And also think about it. you
Mika,
know,
how
what-
do you know all this?
Wewe
He's a
kwa
data
nini
scientist.
si pia
No, I work in healthcare. Like,
Yes.
I work-
Delay.
I work-
But-
I
but
work
also
in
think
healthcare,
about it.
healthcare,
Yeah.
really.
when you go to a chemist in Kenya, anywhere,
Yeah.
Kilifi, Bofa, ukienda Nyamira, it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter, yes.
You just go to a chemist and say,
You say
I'm
what
feeling
you
like
want.
this and like and this.
Oh, they diagnose
Yeah.
you faster.
Yes.
Now, is that person is that a true chemist?
No,
Like
but they will diagnose you.
with a PhD in pharmacology.
Yeah.
no?
See,
Hapana.
inakwambia mzee
Atakwambia
nimeandika
unakaa uko na
nimemfundisha.
pressure.
And by the way, who's to say that he's not selling you or giving you what Mika is saying?
Counterfeit.
Ametengeneza kitu ya 200 ya 3000 ametengeneza 200 shillings
mbili.
na wewe unanunua hiyo. Who's to
But
say?
unajua saa zingine uno hata
Yes.
hiyo time huyo mwenye anauza ajui juu ameandikwa job. Na hata
I know.
That's
zi-
true,
zi-
Yeah,
that's true,
yeah,
that's true.
I know.
Unaona?
I know. So it might
Mwenye-
not be the
mwenye
person
shop,
standing
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Or
mwenye
might be.
shop ndo
Yeah.
anajua.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mwenye shop ndo anajua stock gani ni fake na stock gani si fake, na mwenye shop ndo amekuja kuambia. So labda manager ama mmoja wao ma supervisor anajua, ndo watu wa kuinspect wakikuja, health officers wakikuja wanajua
Ana-
dawa za kuficha.
Yeah, anatoa ile dawa
Hey,
legit.
this
And then
is
also,
crazy.
anatoa
like
legit
this,
na dawa ya kuweka.
This pharmacy, their chains. What's their name? In Kenya, there's a there's a chain.
Usiseme jina tutasuiwa.
Oh no! I'm not saying they do that, but like even pharmacy chains,
Yeah.
they are all over the place.
Yes.
Open 24 hours. Open 24
Yes.
hours, depending availability
On location
on
as well.
location, like
Yeah.
Yeah, hiyo
even
ni Pharma Plus. Pharma
yeah.
Plus ndo
So
open
like
24 hours.
they have all that. You
Yeah.
know, those ones. Those are the places that you go to. You find at a bus stop. You find at
Petrol
petrol
station.
station.
There, bar.
Yeah,
Mostly,
bar,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
They're all there. I'm not saying that they do that, but you know how sometimes you have to there's kanjo that goes and verifies.
Yes.
Like they go and say, okay, you have this, you have this, you have this. Let's prove that this
Permit.
thing.
Yeah.
But not
Hereditary
even
permits
permits,
and license.
test to make sure
They
that
can
whatever
test,
is
yeah.
there,
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
that
there's
your-
quality
health
control.
department,
there's
Yeah.
quality control.
Yeah.
You see, that's another thing we don't have in Kenya, quality control.
Yeah,
That's all
so,
I was saying.
So anyway, that's another one
That's
that I
another-
think needs an episode of its own. Yani, there are so many episodes of its own, of their own, you know, like
You see, now we are
created
actually not
themselves.
experts, we are consumers.
Yes.
Wanatufungua macho
And
hao.
we have been affected by, or should I say infected by some of those things.
So
Both.
here's another comment. Let me read a few comments here because there's a lot of comments coming in on YouTube. Our report says, thank you for an informative session. Glad to see the Kenyan Nurses Association of America for the work that you're doing. And then Jessica Mishira says, we can only fix Kenya if we sit on the table where the policies are being made and advocate for policy changes. Then Akinyi says, very great point. We had an almost free clinic in Jericho and it worked perfectly. And then we have Akinya Doyo saying, Kama Sisi and elites always escape to private hospitals or foreign care. Agency disappears. The system quietly becomes good enough for the wananchi. And then Akinyi further says, the reason a Kenyan nurse who has practiced here for ages can't work in Kenya is because they will go to blows with doctors and nurses behind patient care. The person who said to bite tongue.
Dr. Happiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then hapa we have more Micheka. Anasema good to hear you my dear sister Jelia. And then Akinya anasema it is literally a nurse's job to question everything that everything and CYA times two. I don't know what CYA is. Hatujui kucheza chini and biting tongues. This is for nurses here. Huku hatupangwingwi. Ask a doctor near you respectfully, of course. And then hapa Hosilando anasema there are also so many nurses trained in Kenya who cannot find a job. And then Kenya anasema we should see how Filipino and Indian nurses have successfully collaborated with American nursing to where they have mini cartels. That's how powerful Filipino and Indian associations are. That's quite interesting. And then I have Gladys anasema, thank you and Mike for hosting Dr. Kombe on behalf of KNAA. Great conversations that are long overdue. Thank you, Daktari, for your vision and leadership.
Huyu Gladys was supposed to come. Sasa yaka California.
Yes.
Nitakustaki wewe huyo Gladys huyo.
Wewe,
Kishomo
okay.
huyo.
And then
Later.
Awor anasema, I wonder if there is a Medical Doctors Association for Kenyan Diaspora, and if so, have they made headway in overcoming licensing and practicing challenges?
We should
That's a
ask
good
Dr.
question.
Alan.
That's a good question. We'll ask Dr. Alan and Konye. And then Aworo is also asking, has the KNAA USA done any CSR medical mission in Kenya since they started? If so, which county? What services did they provide? How was the reception? I think we're going to come back to you, Dr. Kombe, on this question.
I know
that
they have,
Aworo
but
is
wacha
asking.
ninyamaza, wacha
Yeah.
daktari aseme.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have nurses from Kenya, the Kenya Nurses Association, who have gone independently, and they have done medical missions in Kenya.
Yeah.
But as an organization, together as an organization, we haven't done that. This
Yeah.
is a young organization. We are working on that, but we have our nurses who are going, and we are supporting them as they go.
Okay.
And they do it on a yearly basis. Some
They
of
do
them
it,
that I know do it
so- yeah, so
on a
many.
yearly basis.
So yeah,
And they take people with them for like 6 weeks, have like
Yeah.
eye clinics. It's astounding the things that they do.
That's-
Now wanabeba tu kwa suitcase, by the
That's-
way.
that's
'cause
nice.
Everybody, they don't even carry clothes.
Yeah.
They just have their scrubs, sneakers. The rest of it is medicine.